Will the Yankees get demolished this afternoon at rival Tampa Bay? Will the Baltimore Orioles avoid the sweep at home this afternoon versus the Cubs? Find out now on MLB Bases Loaded. A huge card on slate today.
15-game card. It's us versus the bookies. Bases loaded, high noon. It's going to be a showdown.
On a suddenly not so casual Friday, the buy hat is engaged. Two questions posed, answers to be found. It is Thursday, July the 9th, 2026. MLB Bases Loaded. I'm the Shark. He is Mikey Money. Mike, what's going on this morning?
We are ready to lock the heck in, everybody. It is a glorious day. It is a getaway day. We've got afternoon baseball. That'll be preceded by World Cup soccer. We're going to be live, rocking and rolling. I can't wait to talk to you guys. I love this card. I said Shark pregame. I don't like these Thursday getaways where everything's being played in the afternoon, but man, oh man, I found some bangers and I cannot wait. I think I got 5 of them. I'm going to share the golden ticket with you guys. I got a golden ticket out there. I can't wait to talk to you about that one as well. It's going to be a showdown indeed, Shark. We were chatting late last night, getting some production stuff underway, you guys. So we're just constantly trying to improve the show. And of course, we've got to win. We've got to find a way. And speaking of winning, Shark, I would be remiss not to mention we cashed another parlay, my dude, plus 581. Let's go. That's like, I think that's 5 and 6. I got to go back and look. We're on a heater with these parlays, and it is game-changing bankroll style.
Yeah, people say heater. I say dominance. This is our point in the season. This is data-abundant baseball. We know what's going on. We have the patterns. We have all the different things we look at, and it is ripe and ready to go, and it is front and center here on this Thursday. If you guys are out to lunch on the East Coast, it is a work day. Doesn't feel like a work day for us. We love to get in here and chat with you guys. Chat back with us. Get in the chat. We will interact with you guys. And on the West Coast, get your coffee and let's get down to business on a suddenly not so casual Thursday afternoon in July. As Mike mentioned, getaway day, bunch of matinees. First one on the card, 12:35. That is about a half an hour from now in Pittsburgh. PNC Park, Braves, Pirates. Final game of the season. 2 series. This is the last one. Atlanta's up 4-1. In this window. Funky game last night. Atlanta got him late. Another pitcher pulled, throwing a perfect game. Mike, I swear this is dystopian baseball. If somebody told me that in the 90s, I would say, what? 2 pitchers in 1 week pulled, throwing a perfect game? We're here this afternoon. What's going on here?
I told everybody, and I'll pound my chest about it, that it was such a terrific Atlanta spot. And look, the pitcher getting pulled is just a reflection of the guy being injured, right? He had surgery. He's coming back. They're trying to get him to go deep. I think he even said it himself. They asked him what he thought about getting pulled after, what do you have, a no-hitter through 6 or something like that. And he said, I get it. It's disappointing, but I'm coming back from injury and they got to do what they got to do. So well said, well noted, and less about analytics and more about just managing the health of the player so that he can go deep out there. Once you have Tommy John, I don't know how many guys have come back from a second Tommy John. So and I shouldn't say that. I don't know if Tommy John was the surgery he had or not, but it was just such a great spot. It was that collective exhale for Pittsburgh, right? Whoo, we did it. We got Skeens' win. And then Atlanta is heading out of town today, right? So afternoon start on top of it. Atlanta had to be biting their bottom lip, digging in, ready to go, fist this Pirates team. And they got the win. Now the problem is today, and this is why it was so great yesterday, Atlanta 0-8, closing out their last 8 series games. And they're getting nuked in those spots. So this is a Pirates opportunity to dominate this game here at home with Mitch Keller on the bump. But the spot that I really like, and I know it's going to be a little head-to-head discussion here, but you got to look at the under in this spot for a couple of reasons. Yes, the getaway. Yes, the afternoon's the obscure time. Yes, that we found the bullpen status with the Braves. Yes, we know that they can't quite hit the ball consistently. And I got a model play that shows you guys it's 13-5 to the under. It's an average line of 8.5, and they're going under by 2 runs. That suggests it's like a 4-1. Get them out of town. Hour and a half baseball game, Shark. Clock it, lock it. Let's rock it. Tell me why you like the over.
Sound like a rap song there from the early 2000s. Pop, lock, and drop it. For those of you guys in the chat, if you're in our age range, you know what I'm talking about here. But I'm not talking under business, Mike. You kind of preempted this. I think you knew I was on the over in this game.
I did. And that's why I talked about the under.
Yeah,
well, that's not why I talked about the under. That's why I said, tell us about the over.
And yeah, we're going over 9.5. Actually, you might be the only person on earth betting this under because the market's getting steamed significantly. We're looking at 10s and 10.5s here. What you're really looking at here is Keller and Elder. Both guys actually faced off against this opponent already this year. Elder did look very good. Did win 3-2 at home on Sunday, June the 7th. One of his best starts of recent history, that being the key point. The rest of his recent history has been absolutely terrible, and I don't think it improves here today in a funky matinee in Pittsburgh before going to the All-Star break. And, Mike, we're going to talk about this throughout the entire show. Final start of the first half for a lot of these pitchers, I think they're checked out. I don't think they're locked in here at all. I think the guys that are going to the All-Star game will be more focused here. You saw Zach Wheeler not going to the All-Star game, talking about little revenge tour type of thing. But these guys going on vacation, they could be on vacation already. And speaking of that, Mitch Keller's been on vacation for the entire season. He looks terrible. He got smoked in a start in that series at Atlanta, 6 earned runs in 4 2/3. And Keller is 3-0 versus the over versus Atlanta since 2022 on lines 9 or higher. This lineup just tees off on this guy. And if you go through Elder just in one point, this guy does not pitch well road at Eastern time. 14 earned runs in 14 innings pitched. That beautiful 9.0 ERA we love. Saw the pitchers do it last night. You saw almost the perfect game from Jared Jones, little zigzag here. Mike, that trend, I'd love to go into that and see what that 13-5 is, because in terms of the spot-specific calendar date today, I do not see these pitchers performing. Any final words or keeping it moving?
Yeah, it happened once already this season. June 24th, Reds and Brewers. Big under. You had Drohan and Louder on the bump, and it cashed. So there you go. Onward. Let's go.
Absolutely. Next game on the card, we're going to Queens this afternoon. Royals-Mets. Game 3 of this series. Michael Wacha at Sean Manaea. 2 journeymen, 2 veteran pitchers over 30. Mike, we've kind of, crazily enough, nailed this series on the show. 2 days ago, I told you guys Kansas City would win. Last night, I said the Mets would push back, maybe get to some margin. Our direct quote from the show was, if you guys want to bet this game, take the Mets maybe at -2.5 or 3.5. The Mets came through, Mike. They won by 4 runs. So KC by 4, Mets by 4. Now we get a rubber match. What's going on here?
Look, if you got the Mets yesterday, it was a terrible call. And I'll tell you, I'll own it. You know, I said I'm not playing the Mets. I'm not playing $1.80 on the Mets. And the reason it was a terrible call is look where they ended up winning the game. That thing was, you want to talk about coin flip. That to me is a coin flip. It was down to the wire before they finally broke the seal. And it had nothing to do with the starting pitch. It's the same thing as we talked about the day before. It had nothing to do with starting pitching. It had nothing to do with baseball analytics. And it was a bad spot to be sweating $1.80 for the New York Mets. Now, if you had the alternate line, yeah, that's a solid, what do you want to call it? Herculean effort out there, I guess is what I would say. But look, this game came down to what inning? The 8th inning, the bottom of the 8th inning. I mean, come on, stop it. $1.80 with the Mets. But congrats to anybody that did have the reverse. I'll tell you this, though. I'm going to go with the fade job. The Mets against lefties. I'm going to take the Kansas City spot first 5 here. 14-3 when the Mets are taking on a lefty on the bump. If you fade them, you've cashed 7 straight times. You're 9-1 in your last 10. And I like this, waka situation out there. You look at Manaea, numbers-wise, numerically for this guy. I think there is that edge when you look at the waka. He's come off some bad starts here. He hasn't really had the formulaic season that you might expect him, based on previous opportunities out there. But he's got the advantage today in the fact that the wind is blowing out. Everybody on this Kansas City team smacked around, Sean Manaea, with the exception of Caglianone, who kind of played like shit the other day. Stupid error, bad throw. Led to that Mets domination out there. But, look, no, he's got 1 at bat, no hits. We got dudes with 750s, 330s, 680s. Then you look at this other side of things here, and there are some fouls. Look, AJ Ewing, I talked about this guy stealing a base. It was him or Benji the other day. I go back to him, AJ Ewing, to steal a base again. When he's in the leadoff position, those guys are dangerous. For whatever reason, the rest of the lineup sucks, but that guy in the leadoff position can pop, and we saw AJ Ewing pop that ball yardstick yesterday. So not mad at AJ Ewing pitching props here, but I like Kansas City in the first 5, and I got a plus money price tag on it as well.
Yeah, I'm aligned. I got KC for the full game. I think Kansas City wins the game. And, you're talking about, our guy in the chat says Mets have won 7 of last 8 home games versus sub 500 opponents. Interesting stat. The other side of this, in a same 8-game window, Manaea is actually 1-7 in his last 8 home appearances. So this guy Manaea is not performing at Citi Field. And Mike, you're talking about Waka. Seems like we're getting in the early 2000s rap game here with a little Waka flame. But this guy pitches great at the National League, and Kelly's in here giving us the goods as usual. Didn't Waka used to play for the Mets? Yes, he did. He pitched 1 season with the Mets. It was an abbreviated season. It was 2020, the COVID campaign, the no fans at home campaign in New York City. He pitched terribly in this stadium, but that is not the point. This season at National League opponents, only 6 earned runs in 18 innings pitched, incredibly consistent. 6 innings in all 3 games. This guy's a robot. And I have written down in front of me, guys like this don't get to this point in their career unless they have great process. Mike, we always talk about this. Ultra superstars get to year 15 because they're number 1 picks. They're blue chips. They're making billions of dollars in the ad market off the court. Guys like Waka are grinders. They just work harder and they're more consistent. And what that means is they don't get phased by these funky early times. So this guy's going to pitch. He's going to pitch well. He's going to pitch well at the National League. And final point on this, which is probably the best point of the handicap. This is the 5th road series of the season for the Royals at a National League opponent. They are 4-0 in the series finale, and they are all coming off of a loss in game 2 of the series. And all 4 of those wins to close the series were by margin. Incredible zigzag. Royals will win this game. The Mets are in complete disarray. Take the Royals and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line here. Next game on the card. Going back to Tampa this afternoon, Yankees-Rays. Paul Blackburn just announced at Drew Rasmussen. Mike, I don't think the baseball card in New York City has been this bad in about 50 years. Both sides look terrible. Yankees closing up this afternoon. What's going on here?
Yeah, man. Well, Blackbird singing in the dead of night. How's it go? Flap your wings and learn to fly. Fly, Blackbird, fly. I think that's the situation here today. Listen, I took the Tampa Bay Rays yesterday. The New York Yankees yesterday. It was the Yankees in an underspot that I had. That it turned out to be an underspot, not the Yankees. Tight. Some theatrics from Boone. Got to recognize the boys trying to rally the troops. We're coming close to the All-Star break here. I'm going to bank on the theatrics here. And I know it's not pretty. It's just a plus tag that I want to take advantage of. It's like we talked about the other day with the Dodgers when they're minus 108, right? Like, got to take them. In this case here, getting close to the All-Star break, the Yankees at plus 144, I got to take them. I mean, the money's pouring in on Tampa. There's nobody in their right mind that wants to get the New York Yankees. But at the same time, the line's gone from minus 156 to minus 145. In fact, there's so much, they just moved it now. It's back to 150. So much money pouring in on Rasmussen and Tampa Bay. I'll bet on the coach spark the squad here. And, there's a couple pitchers a couple hitters that I think are in prime position today. That's kind of what led me to getting involved on this New York Yankees side of things. Like, if it's going to be a lower scoring game, guys like Austin Wells are lined up to go out there and smack the ball today. You got guys like Cody Bellinger teed up to go on his, 79th run on a Thursday. There's some factors that go into this thing for this guy. So I got to take the Yankees. I got him at plus 144. I know it's ugly, but it's plus money. Black.
It is ugly, but you know what's pretty? This hat. The buy hat is engaged. And Mike, I wish you were a Yankee fan with me, because if you were, you wouldn't be singing the praises of Aaron
Why are you
Boone.
going to say that as you put on a Tampa Bay hat?
You would not be singing the praises of Aaron Boone motivating this squad. He is incapable of doing that. It's not in his armor. And look at what's going on with this lineup. You mentioned Austin Wells. Okay, I give you Austin Wells 1 for 24, his last 24 at bats. You mentioned Cody Bellinger, career-defining slump here, 4 for 39. Ben Rice going to the All-Star game, home run derby. You better wake up, or else he's going to go 0 for in Philly on Monday night. 8 for 37 in his last 7 games. Dominguez, Goldschmidt, 0 34, biggest slump of his career. And, of course, the notorious Anthony Volpe doing absolutely nothing. This lineup has absolutely nothing going on. And Drew Rasmussen aces the Yankees no matter where he is. This year against the Yankees already, 13 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 1 K per inning, and you're getting a bounce back for this guy. He got shelled in his previous start over the weekend at Houston, 5 earned runs. If Rasmussen gives up 5 earned runs in a game this year, in the following start, he's 2-0, 13 innings pitched, only 1 earned run on a solo shot. This is an incredible bounce back for Rasmussen. He owns the Yankees. It's a funeral. The Yankees have terrible group psychology. Their lineups hurt. Their pitchers are hurt. I'm talking about going to the All-Star break. These guys are all going to Cancun. They need a break. They're coming back later. Game 4 of a series. This is a funeral, Mike. You're making it good as a fan, but dude, come on.
Since you're going to go down the lineup game, I'll see your thought process and I'll raise you. Paul Goldschmidt ain't starting because he's not playing against the lefty. So his debacle and his debauchery and his shit attitude around the clubhouse is not relevant for this game. But you know, the problem that you do have with Drew Rasmussen, and yeah, he just shit the bed the last game because he needs a break. Guess where he's deficient? He's mal-aligned against lefties. He's got a killer 148 against righties. I'll give you that. There's no doubt. The guy's on fire against the righty bats. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them 9 bats are lefties today. And one of them righty bats is a switch hitter in Dominguez, who you just talked about struggling. You know who he doesn't struggle against? He smacks a 600 on Rasmussen. And then on top of that, man, these boys like to be on the road. They got to get out of Yankee Stadium. They're ready for a little road action out there. They're ready to go out and smack around on Rasmussen. I still think this is probably lower scoring. I'm not going to dispute that with you at all. I mean, you got 6 mile an hour. You got an under stadium and a getaway day with 6 mile an hour winds coming in, but it's hot, man, and heated up in that Yankees bullpen or Yankees batting staff out there. So we'll see. This is going to be a fun one. It shouldn't just be a total dud. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it is, and I'm just talking about fool's gold.
I'm honestly just laughing at the thought of the Yankees heating it up with this lineup this afternoon against Rasmussen. We will see, Mike. If you hit this,
team off a shutout. Team off a shutout, you guys. Listen, for all those Tampa Bay backers and wanting to go slap yourselves in the back yesterday, it was 3-0 win. You know, it's just like that Mets game I was talking about. There was one swing of the bat that changed the game, and that's exactly what we saw in this Yankees game yesterday. So I'll discount it. I'm a salty loser, but you know, they got one in the 3rd, they got one in the 5th, they got one in the 7th. And it was all Aranda. So take Aranda out of that lineup yesterday, and that was a 0-0 game out there. It's not like it was a full-out Yankees dominant or Tampa Bay dominance. So let's just put it in perspective.
I think Jazz Chisholm is going to have some nice lollipops in the clubhouse this afternoon. They're going to be singing their sorrows as the Rays dominate. Take the Rays. Mike likes the Yankees. We will see, and we will keep it moving. Next game on the card, going to Baltimore. As we mentioned in the intro to the show, Cubs-Orioles, final game of the series and the season, interleague baseball here. David Peterson at Trevor Rogers. Mike, you talk about pitching advantages on today's card. In my opinion, Rogers versus Peterson is a wide gap. What do you think about this game?
I like the Peterson matchup. I think Peterson's got dogged that last start. You know, he got traded or released or whatever the case was out of the Mets, right? And everyone's ready to toss this guy to the wind. It's kind of like Eric Lauer for the Dodgers. And what we saw was, yeah, he gave up a ton of runs, but dude, that was Wrigleyville with 100-mile-an-hour winds and 150-degree afternoon. So take that one out of the equation, and you got Trevor Rogers. Now, I originally approached this one and said, I've been on the Cubs every game this series. Why? Probably should change the graphic here, Shark. Why? Because you have to hit the ball. And where have the Baltimore Orioles been deficient? Hitting the ball. That's cap I've given you guys every single day this week with taking the Chicago Cubs with the advantage in bullpen and the advantage in batting staff. Problem I have here is Trevor Rogers does play a little bit better at home. And look, interleague finales, you got a perfect 10-0 in the last 21 years in the model. It is a Baltimore Orioles stop the losing streak today. One of the premier spots on the card. And despite what everyone might think of these pitchers going out there and struggling. I mean, we have, some weather elements across baseball to contend with here. 7-mile-an-hour winds blowing out, mid-80s, Camden, considering it, but I'm still involved in the Baltimore Orioles today. I'm going to back a 21-year model that has never lost.
So am I. I like 21-year models when they don't lose. It's not going to lose today. The buy hat is engaged. And Mike, great stuff here. Stay in the course of action. The Orioles are not going to get swept this afternoon. Not only that, you go back to last night's game. I tried to give you guys the Orioles. The box score was absolutely egregious. They had 28 total bases, and they had 14 hits versus only 8 for the Cubs, and somehow lost the game by 2 runs. Mike, I was looking at that box score last night. That of all the games this week, that one really spoke to juiced balls for me. 9 home runs in the game. 9. And you saw an inflated total, and that's why this is sitting at 10. I don't think they brought in new baseballs overnight. I think this is a matinee, and I think both pitchers are going to struggle. And I think Peterson throws batting practice, if I'm being honest. This guy's gotten rocked all year. As you said, you saw it last week at Wrigley. I think this afternoon at Camden Yards, it's kind of a recreation of Wrigley on the road for this guy. It's outdoors. It's hot. It's a matinee. There's wind. I think he's going to struggle. I totally agree with the Baltimore side, though. Baltimore is 3-0 this year at home, trying to avoid a sweep. 1-0 if Rogers takes the bump. Did win against Texas back in April off a high-scoring loss in Game 2. This is a great spot for Baltimore. Baltimore will take care of business this afternoon. The buy hat is engaged. We align on this one. Take Baltimore, and let's cash. Keeping it moving down.
Shark, you know what's a great spot to get involved with the thumbs up button is right here. If you guys haven't done so, you like the show, you enjoy what we're doing out there, you're making some money, you're just having fun listening to us banter back and forth. All we ask you to do is hit the thumbs up button. It's a kind gesture, a show of support, and it blesses the baseball action. So take a second if you haven't done so and smack that thumbs up button.
Appreciation is appreciated. If you guys haven't dropped a like on the video, please do it now. It does help to bring this show to a wider reach across the internet. It really is a powerful thing. Thank you very much. And let's keep it moving. Next game of the card, divisional baseball this afternoon. Game 3 of this series in Minnesota. Bailey Ober against Gavin Williams. We've hit this one 2 nights in a row. I gave you guys the Twins back-to-back nights. Had the over last night. Twins doing some business here, Mike. Can they continue this afternoon?
Yes, sir. What a spot, man. That was a great little add to the old parlay. Minnesota Twins. We had that Tigers under 9. We had the Dodgers under 10. We slapped the Twins in there. 581 was good money. You got to look at the under in this spot here, and it's a situation with the rivalry. Probably some of it's the AL Central situation that goes on out there here. And Uber was an over for a long time for me, but I think this year they pull the reins back here. We've got ourselves a Minnesota Twins, Cleveland Guardians, afternoon start time, Shark. You want to guess how many unders they've had? We got 25 games in the sample. You want to guess how many times it's gone under? Just have a little fun.
18.
21. It's 21-3 to the under with a push in there. And they've gone under by at least 2 runs a clip. So I'm going to get involved, man. Give me some under action. I love it. It fits the getaway model on top of it, dude. Like, check me out. I'm out of this thing. And, the Minnesota Twins, here's the other side of things for me. This is a little same game parlay action with the under, because I'm going to go back to the Twins. And I know it's a tough spot here with Gavin Williams. I respect Gavin Williams' efforts and abilities. We've been tailing this guy, and riding the highs and lows that is the Gavin Williams season here. But man, look, you can't. You want to talk about the bounce back position, and it's so great because the Minnesota. This is where I love an angle and a trend like this. The Minnesota Twins win and lose in bunches at home. We've talked about it, right? They go on a rip. They're on a rip right now. Now you got a bounce back situation. You're saying bounce back. They just won yesterday. What are you talking about? You're talking about Bailey Uber off a bad start. You got not just Uber, but generally speaking, home team pitchers against a struggling righty and a bad start. 20 straight wins over the last 3 seasons. It is a great day to be a Minnesota Twins fan here. I love the Twins. I love the under. I think I parlayed the two of them together for around plus 300. Minnesota Twins and the under 8.5, a double dipper to get the skipper in the pocket. I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with skipper, Shark.
Big Dipper. I don't know.
Oh, I had the double dipper. I already started with the double dipper for the big skipper. I couldn't bring it home. I couldn't land the plane. Can you land the plane for us?
No, I can't. My mind is more centered on some serious baseball this afternoon at Target Field. But Kelly says Minnesota changed starting pitcher. I'm not sure if that's accurate. I do see Ober still in the sports book listing. Of course, if you want accurate data, you do go to the financial records of sports books. So I don't know if Kelly has some preemptive information. Kelly, you in with the mafia and the local parts of the Minnesota faction or something? You know something off the record here, but I'll leave it at that. What was that?
Uber's confirmed. Uber and Williams.
Yeah, I actually posted the over in this game, Mike. I'm not going to go into immense detail. Gavin Williams did get his ass kicked versus the Twins earlier this year, giving up 5 earned runs, also in a matinee. That statistic about, what was it, Minnesota, Cleveland unders 21 out of 25?
Yeah.
One of them was an over involving Gavin Williams this year already. So I think the 4 out of 25 might correlate to Gavin Williams not matching up very well versus the Twins lineup. And Bailey Ober is actually 6-1 versus the home over this year, getting 7.14 runs per game in run support. So for whatever reason, the Twins bats wake up for Ober, and Williams doesn't have good matchup data here. Disagreement here. Not going to go.
Here, I'll one up that too here because I know you like to move quickly to the next one, so I don't want to interrupt you. I apologize for being rude as a co-host, but to discount that, Gavin Williams was on the bump. You are correct about that. It was May 10th. It was when the expectation was Gavin Williams was going to be a Cy Young guy, and they put a 7.5 total on it. The score was 5-4. So underachieving at the time was Gavin Williams. They expected him to overachieve with a 7.5, and it barely snuck over there as far as the score is concerned today with a 9 score total, and we got an 8.5. So yeah, it's definitely worth dissecting some of the trend and breaking it down a little bit there. But just for what it's worth, you're right. It did go over, but it was, I think, circumstantially over in a bad spot for Gavin Williams at the time.
Yeah, final point on this. And Mike, never apologize for cutting me off. We are the dudes, and we love you guys in the chat. If you guys are in the chat, so much power and respect within the show. But just one final point correlating back to just the environment of this day in baseball. Again, these guys are not going to the All-Star game. I believe Gavin Williams might be, but Ober certainly is not. He's coming off the injured list. I don't really like getting this guy off an injury. He's like 6'9", so he's naturally a little injury prone. He's got that kind of NBA body type, which is a little more volatile and injury prone. I think he could struggle here. So just that point and the heat in the summertime, I think that's why you're seeing a high line. But we will see. I'm sure Mike has it starred on the page.
Okay, you're right, I do.
And we will keep it moving. Final game of the afternoon, Red Sox, White Sox, game 3 in the South Side. Man, the White Sox let me down last night. Davis Martin seems to be a little captain the market. We will note that going forward after the All-Star break. Tonight we get Anthony Kay against Patrick Sandoval making his first start of the year, Mike. You talk about kind of moving parts. Have you figured out this game?
No, I've been all over Boston with this series, and I've been cashing with it. So this is one of those games, and some people get a little chapped with me when I say, I've made my money in this series. There's other spots I want to be involved with here. I would still continue to take the Red Sox just because of the cluster effect, but Sandoval, man, I mean, look, the Athletics harvested a bunch of organs. Blackbird was one of them. Sandoval's another one of them here. And you want to fade the White Sox. If they're on a losing streak, if they lost by 3 or more runs the previous game, in other words, when the bats get cold, they put, as Serrano said in Major League Baseball, they got hats for bats. And That's what we're going to see is the hats are on the bats today. It's like trying to hit a golf ball before taking the driver cover off on the tee box. You wouldn't want to do that. Certainly wouldn't want to put your money on a guy that's going to do that. And I think that's what the White Sox have going on today. So, Sandoval does stink in the dog roll, but I don't like this game. I would take Boston or nothing.
Tough game. I mean, real tough game. Mike, you mentioned Sandoval. He's actually coming over here from the Angels, not the Athletics, just for the record.
Didn't he have an athletic stint in him, though?
No, 5 years with the Angels, 5 or 6 years. But here's actually the more important point. This guy hasn't pitched in over 2 years. He had arm surgery, I believe. He missed all of last year. His last start was with the Angels. It was actually a start on June 21st, 2024 at the Dodgers. He got removed in that start, only 2 1/3 innings pitched. So you talk about just tough things to handicap. First time ever pitching for a team not named the Angels. He's got to go a matinee in Chicago with the Red Sox off of 2 years. He might get absolutely smacked here, to be honest, guys. I mean, you see these guys coming off injuries. They're just not comfortable. So I think Kay is going to struggle. I think he's also a little market cap, sort of like Davis Martin. I think the White Sox in general could have a market cap here. But I do think that both pitchers could get rocked. If the White Sox win this game, I see it being high scoring. Sandoval could really struggle. Stay away from the Red Sox, guys. Just a lot of moving parts. Tough game, and we will keep it moving. Evening baseball tonight. Going back to Detroit, Athletics Tigers, game 3 of this series. Framber Valdez against Jose Suarez. That's a pitching change. It was supposed to be Perkins as of an hour ago. Mike, I had a nice little handicap for Perkins. Unfortunately, we can't go that direction, but we can talk Framber Valdez. Framber Valdez is not going to the All-Star game, ladies and gentlemen. This guy's a notorious partier. He's from the Dominican. He loves a little tequila. He might be hungover this afternoon on the mound. Mike, what's going on here?
Glorious under that we popped yesterday. But, look, I don't care who's pitching. I don't want to get in the way of an unbeaten trend here. And the Athletics give a total of more than an 8 since 2015. The Athletics in game 3 against the Tigers are perfect 12-0. Got to go with the Athletics in this spot. Not just to mention fade and Framber. Framber fade. It's not Friday. I was going to say Framber fade Friday here, but you got me jacked up about fade and Framber this morning here. We were texting back and forth about the boys in the dugout probably calling in today. They're not going to bring their A game because it stinks like tequila as soon as he walks in the front door. And he's a hot, sweaty mess on top of it. So that booze is going to be pouring out of this guy's pores. But I'll take the Athletics. I'll take that unbeaten trend here and some plus money. Get this goddamn series here. I've been trying to get on these boys. Tried the first game to get on the Athletics against Scuba. Tough little fall apart at the end. Coin flippy. Yesterday we had the under. Today I'm going to take the Athletics. I got plus 122.
I agree. We're going back to it, ladies and gentlemen. The buy hat is engaged. It's a beautiful day. It's Thursday. The hat is yellow and beautiful. A's enough. Get a damn victory for us here. But you're talking a great storyline with Valdez. Mike and I were texting this morning about this. Yeah, it is. But I'm willing to share it because it's very good. And but what you're looking at here, I think, is just continued fledgling status for this guy. This is his 3rd consecutive start against the AL West. Houston at Texas, now the A's. Key point on that, this is his old division. These teams know this guy very well. And in the last 2 starts, he got rocked in both. 4 earned runs against Houston, 8-6 loss in his last home start, Saturday, June 27th. Go back to last Thursday at Texas. Completely rocked. We gave you guys Texas in that matchup. 5 earned runs, another 9 hits in only 5 innings. So he's in bad form. He doesn't perform well against this division because they know him well. And as I mentioned, this is not Framber Valdez from 5 years ago going to the World Series with the Astros. This guy's 32. He's 240 pounds at 5'11". It's hot out. He's going to labor. He's going to struggle. And the distraction of not going to the All-Star game is huge for this guy. He's got a ton of family. He likes to drink. He likes to eat. More power to him. We all love to do that as well, but we're all not lining up to play professional baseball tonight. going into the All-Star break. The A's are fantastic in this spot, as Mike mentioned. They are great avoiding a sweep on the road. And I think this guy Suarez might be an opener for Perkins. And if Perkins does pitch, great stuff in terms of this guy's psychology. He's from Indiana. He went to college in the Big Ten at the University of Indiana. You guys know where I'm going with this. When these guys go home, they have family in the stands. They lock it in. And Perkins does have much better road numbers this year, not pitching at home in Sacramento. You want to buy Perkins on the road, the A's, you want all of it, take the A's and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line here. More evening baseball. Going back to Miami tonight, Mariners-Marlins game 3, final game of the season. Mariners trying to avoid a sweep. Bryce Miller at Jansen Junk. Talking about these pitchers coming back from injury. Junk has not pitched in over a month. Miller looking quite good, Mike. Can the Mariners avoid a sweep?
I started running this game through my models and my head almost fucking exploded right off my fucking shoulders. You want to talk about a great opportunity. Now, listen, we gave you the Marlins game 1, right? We had the Marlins. We had the first 5 Marlins. You were involved in the total. I mean, we couldn't have nailed that thing any better. Yesterday, thought it was a Mariners spot. Yesterday, I thought Mariners come back. And you know what happened, Shark? They did not come back. They lost 2-0. Now, you know I love playing teams off a shutout. And when we have teams in game 3 trying to avoid the sweep, after losing 2 in a row, holy shit, the universe aligns here. The last 5 years, this circumstance today in Miami has happened 15 times. It's cashed all 15. Give me Miller. Give me Seattle. Fade me some Junk. Oh, my God. My head almost exploded with this thing here. Love the Seattle spot today.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. We're going from one buy hat in this division to the next. The buy hat is engaged. Mariners, I'll say the same thing. Enough is enough. What are you guys doing? Get a win here in South Beach. And as you said, Mike, the universe is aligning here with the numbers. Not only that, the pitching matchup. Talk about an edge. Mm-hmm. This guy Miller is just in complete top form. Just aced the Angels, 0 earned runs. Going on the road, his only road start this year at a National League team, if played on a weeknight, at Washington, Friday, June 12th, 8 innings pitched, only 4 hits, no walks. This guy doesn't walk anybody. He's only got 5 walks on the season in 52 2/3 innings pitched. That was a 10-2 blowout win as a favorite against this division. He will travel well. Junk's coming off the injured list. He's been sketchy at home all year. Junk is actually a better road pitcher. This is a great handicap. Take the Mariners and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line here. Next game on the card, we're going back to Cincinnati. Phillies Reds, Jesus Luzardo at Brady Singer. Mike, I said it last night. The Reds have one thing going for them, and his name is Burns.
Yeah.
And it is not Singer in the bounce back, I don't think. What do you think's going on here?
Well, it's not discount Abbott. I mean, he's doing pretty well for him too, right? I mean, he had a tough matchup out there where he was in a lose-lose situation, but interesting jockeying of alignment here. So when we talk about punting, here's kind of an example, right? You got Abbott, you got Wheels, right? What are you going to do? You got to put your best out against your best, right? And they just couldn't get it done. It was a low scoring game. What was the final? I think it was 3-1. Tough break. Gave it your all. One strong, a hell of a hitting team in Philadelphia. Then you got the Don Mattingly effect coming in here, rounding out this baseball team. We all know the Phillies are going to win the World Series this year, but you go into game number 2. Well, they didn't announce their starting pitcher. They went with some dirtbag, right? And you got Burnsy on the other side. So they were punting that game. They have brought Jesus into the stadium today to not only walk on water, it is turn that water into wine night. And you're going to see the Phillies smack Brady Singer right in his baby bottom out there. Run line Philadelphia Phillies cranking on the Cincinnati Reds team in a great bounce back, get right spot. And on top of that, look, Schwarber's one of them guys to get the belt and put it on that butt cheek out there. He's going to go yardstick tonight as well. I like this Jesus Schwarber combo. Jesus Schwarber, 2028. I'm not a real political guy, but let's go.
Yeah, Mike, remember a couple of weeks ago I said I had a Philadelphia buy hat coming in the mail?
Yeah.
Here we are. It is July 9th. I'm taking the all the paraphernalia. Mitchell and Ness, we're going to put it on for the first time. A beautiful print it is. The buy hat is engaged. The Phillies will demolish Singer tonight. And Mike,
let's
given
get a
all
close up on this thing, dude. That's a sharp lid right there. Let's go.
I see you guys on Broad Street. Let's go. Turn them up. But that all being said, Luzardo is a road pitcher. He has struggled situationally this year, almost all of it at home at the bank. Gets on the road. He's an absolute genius. Not only that, you're getting a revenge game here for this guy. He did take a loss versus Cincinnati on Tuesday, 5-19 at home, but it was against Chase Burns. So Burns is 2-0 this year against the Phillies. That's pretty much the end of the story for the Reds. Phillies are going to bounce back here tonight. Luzardo's going to shove. The line is extremely heavy. Take the Phillies and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line here. More evening baseball on one of the largest getaway Thursdays of the entire season. 12 getaway games, 13 full, 13-game card. Next game on the card, more divisional baseball in St. Louis. Brewers-Cardinals, game 5 of this series. Logan Henderson at Andre Palante. The Cardinals finally got the dub last night, Mike. I told you guys it was coming. Now they have to do it again, can they?
I don't know about this game. I want to play Palante, but God, see Milwaukee struggle again. I mean, is that what we're seeing here? I know it's one of them situations where they face the opponent 100 times in the season, so there's a ton of familiarity out there. I just couldn't get there with it. I like Palante. You know, I've been a Palante backer for most of the season, and you know, you look at his numbers. The problem I have with Palante today is, dude, you know, we went down that Yankees lineup. Chorreo's got a 500 against him. Tarang's got a 400 against him. Bauer's got a 600 against him. This Garrett Mitchell cat, the center fielder's got a 400. Whew. I don't know. I mean, I guess the only advantage that St. Louis has in this situation is that nobody's seen Logan Henderson, so you can't really handicap what those bats are going to do, but I can't get there with St. Louis today. I want to pull the trigger. I just probably won't play this game.
Yeah, I'm not taking St. Louis today. Taking the Brewers in this one. I think the Brewers get back in action here to this window where they've dominated. And we told you guys yesterday, the situation yesterday was just a great spot for Michael McGreevy to get Kyle Harrison. That's not the conversation today. Palante has terrible numbers against the Brewers this year. Actually, his worst start in the last 2 months did come in a home game versus the Brewers on Wednesday, May 6th. 5 earned runs, 8 hits, 1 home run against in 6 innings, took a 6-2 loss. He was actually favored in that game, believe it or not, minus 110 against Brandon Sprout. So this is actually moving 45 points against him. The books have noted his inefficiency here and are saying the Brewers are going to do it again. And you're talking about Logan Henderson here. This guy's got good numbers. I mean, there's no way around it. He's only had 4 starts in the last month and a half, 2 months. He has been injured. All of them efficient. No more than 2 earned runs in any start. I looked this guy up before. He's not really a blue chip prospect. He came out of a community college, didn't go, Big 12 or SEC or anything like that. He's just a grinder. He's 24 years old. He's a young guy. He's crafty. He's going to pitch great. I think the Brewers win with some comfort here. Take the Brewers and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line. Next game on the card, more divisional baseball. We actually finish up here with 4 consecutive divisional games tonight. Angels Rangers getaway game here. Reed Detmers at Nathan Eovaldi. Mike, I was looking at this before, and you talk about really 2 elite level pitchers tonight in a matchup. It would be this. What's going on here?
Yeah, we've been pretty dialed in with this series as well, right? We had Texas, the stopgapper with the losing spots there. We had the plus money bet that was given out yesterday for the Angels to go take advantage of it. A lot of people are like, I can't believe that happened. And I was thinking, what do you mean? What kind of cat did you have that you couldn't believe that was the case? And, I guess I got to look at this one here as a pitching duel. I like the under, 7.5 is a little juicy. I'll probably what I'll do is this game just to, take the 7. I'll probably parlay the Texas Rangers and I'll probably move it to an under 8 and it'll be somewhere around a plus 160 ish. I'm guessing in this case, bottom line is the Angels just don't produce against righties here. When they're in the dog roll, if you fade them against a righty, you've cashed 6 in a row. So even You know what? Texas first 5 has a little appeal to me as well. I mean, that's a little juicy too. I got minus 122. Give me Texas first 5.
Yeah, I'm still working on this game. You've definitely had a better feel for this series than I did. I mean, you smashed it last night. Walbert Urania was just in complete control. On the previous night, it was DeGrom. You see two blowouts. I think this game's going to be a lot tighter. I don't think there's as much of a gap in this one. Both pitchers are going to pitch very well. I've touted up Reed Detmers now for months, just telling you guys this guy is really kind of on the cusp of greatness potentially. He has fallen off in the last 3 starts, 2 real abysmal ones, 5 earned runs, his last road start at the Athletics. Key point, though, I'm not sure if that was in Vegas or if that was in Sacramento, but regardless, it was kind of a funky ballpark. He did pitch against Texas on Sunday, May 24th, by far his best start of the year. 8 innings pitched, only 1 hit, solo home run against for 1 earned run, 14 strikeouts. And Eovaldi also has great matchup data against the Angels. You saw these totals get bloated the last 2 nights. This is going to be a tight one. If you guys want to take this, take the under at 7.5. You can still get that at minus 122. Mike, any final comments or keeping it moving?
No, I think that's a great look. You know, you want to talk about the epitome. There's some examples that I like to highlight along the way. And, you know, we talk about the zigzag, and sometimes you guys might be like, oh, you know, these guys are just going the zigzag. And what I mean by that is when you've got the situation where we talk about the pitcher facing the same matchup, back-to-back spots, you have one bad one and then a good one, or vice versa, you know, and he did play that at Athletic spot. It was, you know, he's still 8 innings. I mean, he's an innings eater in Detmer. So it's a great read as far as, you know, this guy having some potential and upward trajectory. You know, he gave up 5 earned runs, tough spot at Athletics, goes right back the following game against the Athletics. He only gives up 2 earned runs. So that's what we mean when we talk about the zigzag. If there's nobody else in between, it's advantage the opposite side of what happened out there. And that process, that's cashing over 65% since I've been capping baseball. So things to look for, but that's just not the case today. I like your under 7.5. I like that Texas first 5.
Yeah, look for the under. Let's cash and let's keep it moving. Next game in the card, more divisional baseball. Diamondbacks Padres closing up a series out west, 9:40. Merrill Kelly at Griffin Canning. Not exactly your Hall of Fame pitchers in this one, Mike. Canning, maybe some access. Kelly looking really poor. What's going on here?
I'm going to take the Diamondbacks at the plus money tag here. I mean, I don't want to be, you know, it's a show guy, Gas Canning, right? That's not where we want to be. Now, the Padres, this is an intersecting situation because series finales, game 4 of a series, the Padres are 9-1. I mean, that's an impressive run for them boys here, but you know, I'll counter that. I'll counter that own trend and say Merrill Kelly is a dog. He's 14-8, so he's not terrible. And the 4th game of a series on the road on a Thursday, Shark. I know you like these. Them teams are 12-5. So for whatever reason, that 4th game doesn't happen on a Thursday often. We were kind of talking a little bit about that earlier, where it's like, it's kind of weird. I was saying to you earlier today, I'm like, it's Wednesday. You're like, no, dumbass, it's Thursday. I'm like, okay, I got it. So I think in that situation, we could take some Arizona Diamondbacks and take a little long shot here with a short dog.
Disagree here. I cannot get behind Merrill Kelly. I think I've been, you know, I always kind of joke it's not personal shade. Of course it's not. You know, if we ran into this guy at the bar, I'd say, dude, you have a great career. Like, you know, shout out to these guys. They're pro athletes. He's a total legend, but he's just not the dude right now. And I just don't think he's coming back. He's a little older. He's been around. You know, he's got traded last year, came back to the Diamondbacks. He's just inflated in all environments if it's not the San Francisco Giants, the Rockies, or the Mets as an opponent. So any other team pretty much just lights this guy up. And you look at Canning here. When I was handicapping this before, I thought to myself, Canning is just an auto fade. He's not a fade at home. If you actually go through his home starts, I mean, outside of one really poor outing against Atlanta where he didn't get out of the first inning, in the last 2 months, he faced off against Philadelphia. Very good lineup. 6 2/3. Only 3 hits, 3 earned runs. He beat the Mets, 5 inning pitched, 1 earned run. And that game where he was terrible against Atlanta, the Padres won anyway. His only home start in the division, he pitched well against the Dodgers in a loss, only 3 earned runs. So moral of the story is this is not exactly the handicap where you're saying the Padres are going to win this game 10-0. I just think Canning is slightly better. I think the Padres are a slightly better team, and I don't like Kelly. Slight disagreement in this one. That is Merrill Kelly, of course. That is not Kelly in the chat.
What's a hell of a thing to say about Kelly V out there? She says, I like to bet against teams with bottom of the rotation guys pitching. Important to look at the schedule. There you go.
That's it for that one, and let's keep it moving. Final game on the card, Rockies-Giants in San Francisco tonight, Oracle Park. Ryan Feltner, it looks like Carson Whisenhunt, I believe. Interesting spot here, Mike. This is the only series opener on the entire card. What's going on here?
I'll tell you what, I didn't look at this one for shit. What made me recognize that it was a series opener was the fact that I was adjusting the LA Dodgers numbers from minus 236 yesterday, and I was like, wow, that's a big drop in the number for the Dodgers to go from minus 236 to 136. And then I said, oh, they're playing San Francisco. Listen, they came off that Dodgers series. Again, a tough call, tough break yesterday. Another one runner. Them Dodgers, man. Woo-wee. That was ugly. The Giants in the game one of a series RFA, though, 98 and 84. I just don't know if you can get there here with a team that put their goddamn heart on the line against the World Series champions last year. And they came up short. I mean, this is a short number for San Francisco. I don't care who's pitching. I think you got to go with the Giants in this case.
Disagree. I got the Rockies in this one. I think that the letdown element may exist, but I just think the Rockies are a better ball club, if I'm being honest. And, just friendly reminder to everybody, again, these are pro athletes. Like, they're paid to get up for these games. Like, they're not just like taking it off because they just played the Dodgers. Like, it's kind of like I said with Merrill Kelly. We sit here and tell you he's terrible. He's a legend. They're all legends. If you make it to the show, you're a legend. And if you look at what's going on in this series, this is data abundant within this division. The Rockies are already 4-2 this year against the Giants. Pretty good sample. Fairly dominant, if we're being honest. And Feltner's already beaten the Giants twice this year, 8-3 and 15-3. So Feltner has great matchup data. The line's all over him from the standpoint that San Francisco was actually favored heavier on the road. And this guy Whisenhunt is just kind of a random guy. He's got one start on the year. He hasn't pitched at home this year. Last year, he looked terrible at this ballpark in limited data. I think the Rockies get him. I also like the under in this game. Like, it's the continued conversation about unders on the road for the Rockies. Any thoughts on the under?
Yeah, I like the under. I'm shocked to hear you say that you will discount and say that these guys are professional athletes because you're a big psychological approach guy to the game. And I can't accept it. I mean, as a guy that's played in sports, granted, I was never a professional, but in any sport that you've played, there's a fatigue factor that comes in both physically and mentally. And you're bringing your best against the defending World Series champions. Not only are you going to try to bring your best, they didn't get their barn doors blown off one game. They won one. They lost 2-1. They put everything they had on the table. All the chips were in for that thing. And now you move away from that series. You have to take that collective exhale, look around at each other as you're traveling into San Francisco and go, good job, boys. We gave them hell. But now you have to take that deep, abated breath to go take a San Francisco Giants team. And it's like, man, we're just a little gassed. We're just a little tired. And so I do like the under, though. I think that does complement the under. Not to mention San Francisco's not an over team anyway. So just a little shocked by that, Shark. But hey, whatever.
Just as a point of explanation, we said this a couple of weeks ago. I said when these guys get in the season, it's like tunnel vision. They have complete blinders on. It's like they're literally overseas, like on a battlefield for like 6 months. So as a person who does this professionally, I'll tell you, there's a reason why I don't have a lot of family and friends. I got the blinders on. There's no distractions. So the point here is you're just in there. Like, so it's not so much of a zigzag as people think. And I really believe, like, if we interviewed pro athletes on a podcast, they would confirm this idea. Like, it's just like you're on a battlefield perpetually through the entire season. It's less of an up and down than people really think. And Kelly says, why isn't Colorado favored? Then Kelly, Colorado's never favored on the road. Come on. Like, they would have to win the world championship to be favored on the road. But that all being said, the under's a great look in this game. Feltner will pitch well, and I think Whisenhunt is a bit of a liability. Great conversation there, Mike, and we got best bets.
best bets here, man. Great show, July the 9th. Thank you guys all for being a part of it with us. I got to go with the Baltimore O's. I got Minnesota, and I'm going to take that athletic spot as well. Give me the Phillies -1.5 and the Seattle Mariners. There's a 5-pack. And of course, I like these early spots here. I know it's 1-0 in Pittsburgh, but I gave you that under. I think Pittsburgh climbs back into this thing here, and I'm going to take my Yankees. But official best bet, Shark. And the christening of the new best bet video here, Baltimore, Minnesota, Athletic, Seattle, and the Philadelphia Phillies -1.5.
All right, so I'm going to give you guys the Rays because I have to, and Aaron Boone, the motivational wizard. Apparently, we'll see if he can come through at the Trop this afternoon. I agree with the Orioles. I'll give you guys the Royals as well. I like the Royals. Mike was leaning towards the first 5, I believe, there. Yep. And a couple other ones. We're taking the A's at +122. Did you give them the Mariners?
Yeah.
Mariners, A's. Buy hat is engaged. Phillies on the money line. I think margin could develop here. -156. And we'll give you the late night under in the Rockies game. Under, I believe you still can get an 8.5. Let me just check now. Yeah, under 8.5.
What's the price you got for Kansas City?
It's looking at plus. I had +127. It might have moved. Money line +127.
Cool. We got to go back at it, dude. You don't stop when you're hot. You keep running. Let's put a parlay together here. Let's go with we like Texas, right?
Texas. Under in that game I like.
Under 7.5, you said? Let's call it 8. We'll make it an 8 because we can outline that thing a little bit there.
Yeah.
You like the under in San Fran? I'm with you there. We'll take the under. What did you say, 8 in that one?
8.5.
Oh, you already gave out that in the my bad. You gave that as the best bet.
We could go over in the Phillies game. I don't know if you looked at that.
Let's how about, did you say you're not White Sox, right? You're good with if we go Red Sox?
I don't like the Red Sox with Sandoval not having pitched in 2 years.
Good call. Diamondbacks? Can I get you on the Diamondbacks?
No, I have the Padres.
That's right. I have that one starred.
Why don't we do Phillies run line?
I gave out Phillies run line as a best bet.
Oh, okay. Brewers. I like the Brewers.
All right. Put Milwaukee in there. We got Texas under 8, Milwaukee, and then
we could roll with the over in the Red Sox game.
All right.
You can get an 8.5.
You know the deal. We do well when I put them in on the show. So let me load this thing in here really quick. We'll get her moving for you guys and we'll get everybody up out of here. But I am a superstitious mofo and it's been cashing for us. So I don't want to change what's been working here. We'll go with the over 8.5 in Boston. That's going to be logged in as a -137 on DraftKings. Under 8 in Texas. This one may not pay fantastic because we're taking a little bit of the alt lines in this thing, but that's okay. Man, we're crushing them. What the hell? +500s, +600s. What's the difference? Take under 8 here. That's going to be, that's a little juicy guy. And then we got the Brewers, right? Milwaukee, Algonquin for the good land Shark. That's +370. We're cooking. We're cooking a +370 on this thing, man. Let's go. Let's have ourselves a day, Shark. Always good stuff.
Absolutely. We appreciate you guys in the chat hanging out with us. Jermaine just dropping in with some good trends and angles as always. And we appreciate you guys in the chat during the show. We know you guys can't always get in there. There's a lot going on. After the show, throughout the day, if you have any time, please get underneath the video on YouTube and drop comments. We will interact with you guys. Let's fire up a conversation. We had a lot of comments yesterday, over 50. If you guys are involved, get involved again. It is fun to have conversation in this live. I walk around the neighborhood. I walk into cities. People are all looking down at their phones. I feel like smacking the phones out of their hands and being like, people, life is good. Let's hang out. And that is one of the baselines of this show. We appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Always bet responsibly. We will be back tomorrow for the final show of the first half of the season. Crazily enough, a lot of series openers tomorrow. Big card. That is that for the Thursday show. MLB Bases Loaded, July the 9th, 2026. For Mike, I'm the Shark. Stay fast, stay strong, stay disciplined, and let's dominate.
I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine.